During the later years of the 19th century, women, as always, held an inferior position to men, which usually reflected their social status. Though laws were helping to improve the woman's role in society, she was still confronted with legal, educational, and economic setbacks. By the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century, improvements aided in giving women more rights in educational and occupational opportunities. Early on in the century, women lacked the rights to own their own property. No matter their rank in society, women were forced to give obedience to their husbands and had minimal opportunity to be divorced from there without going through numerous explanations and trials in courts. Women usually had to prove more than one offense against their husbands to be granted a divorce. Women were encumbered with the fact that they had little chance to go beyond being a housewife. Men, on the other hand, were the head of the family, obtained the property rights, had more educational opportunities, and much more legal rights. Society was not the benefit for women. Many women were illiterate because they were denied any type of primary or secondary education, other than caretaking. Many colleges didn't begin to accept women until after the 1860s. When they did accept women, the numbers were limited because women lacked the education to be prepared for any type of higher learning. They were too hopelessly unqualified to be admitted to universities. Often the reasons for men not wanting women to be admitted included the fact that the schools might become overcrowded and women might create too much change and challenge traditional ways of gender roles. Without access to higher learning institutions, women had no chance at advancing their individual, social, or economic status. For the middle class, the distinction between work and family varied between the genders. Women were not allowed to work while the men were. Women were required to clean the house, take care of families, and cook and clean every day. They could not fulfill the requirements of what it was like to be in college. Until the later years of the 20th century, women finally had the right to go to college, but they were restricted to the type of degree they were allowed to have. Most of the degrees they were allowed to go into were based off of nursing and teaching, but that was about it. They couldn't become lawyers, bankers, all that stuff because they were looked as too feminine. Unfortunately, that continued on for many more years until they finally got a say and were allowed to go for any kind of job position they wanted. Women were slowly becoming more powerful and slowly were not becoming just known as a typical housewife in the world.